Cybersecurity analyst is a new term we used to call as a security analyst or just an analyst in or information security analyst. But these days those terms have replaced and now we are calling it as cybersecurity analyst. So when I'm hiring a junior person or a fresher into my team as a chief information security officer, the entry level position is called analyst or a cybersecurity analyst. And the core duties are to analyze the data, depends upon where I'm going to place that particular analyst in my team. If he or she is a part of a cybersecurity operations center, then very well cybersecurity analyst goes really well with that. That person will be responsible for analyzing all the data and the logs which I have within cybersecurity operations center. They will create the tickets for any kind of cyber incidents and work towards the ticketing system. So that's the initial entry level job of a level 1 analyst, we call it. Now you call it cybersecurity analyst because it's a part of a cybersecurity operations center. But if the same analyst is working as a part of my risk management team, I would call it a risk management analyst or risk analyst. So we pick and choose and change the initial or the first name of the title from analyst to cybersecurity to risk analyst. See, from technical skills point of view, a basic understanding of cybersecurity operations or a framework is very, very important, because I can't expect a cybersecurity analyst to be expert in everything, but he or she should have at least the foundation knowledge. So example, if I'm talking about threat, if I'm talking about phishing, he or she should be able to understand what is phishing about. He or she should be able to understand and identify a phishing attack as a cybersecurity analyst. So having a good basic knowledge of foundation knowledge of cybersecurity, like example cybersecurity fundamentals, cybersecurity principles, the various roles and responsibility of a SOC security operation center analyst is very important. And having a good eye for detail and good analytic mindset from other than the technical skills, it is what is required when you are entering into a cybersecurity initial entry level job. We call it security analyst or a cybersecurity analyst job. Apart from having a good foundation technical knowledge in a cybersecurity analyst, there are a number of soft skills required for them to perform their job more effectively and efficiently. First of all, they have to be a good team player, right? Because they are working in a small, medium or large team, depends upon the company they work for. Examples, security operations center, they have a large number of team. They have to work collaboratively with other team members. So being a good team player, which can be further improved upon as a team leader, is what is required. Second, a good analytic mind. They should be able to stay calm when the attacks is going on, and they should be able to analyze it in a calm mindset and share that information with their further team member. A good report writing skills. If they can articulate the problem into a nice presentable report, which also is one of the requirement. Speaking skills or communication skills, because they have to communicate at various level. When there is something going wrong within the environment, they have to communicate with their team leader, they have to communicate with their CISO, or could be other team members or other board members if required in a board meeting. So good communication skills, interpersonal skills, team leadership and good writing skills are what I would say among the top soft skills requirement for a good analyst. So typical day in a life of an analyst starts when they arrive to their office or when they start their day. They always look at, am I getting all the security logs and alert within my environment which I'm supposed to get? Unless there's a 24/7 security operations center, then he won't be or she won't be concerned because somebody else is watching about that. But typically you will see 9 to 5 is what people work in a cybersecurity operations center, unless it's a large company where they have outsourced it 24/7. So that's a different story. But typically the day starts by looking at, is all my security technology environment working as expected? Want to just check all the lights are green, nothing is red, in a simple word. Second, they want to check, is there any new threat within my environment which has been introduced overnight? So we call it threat hunting. Either they can automate it or they can do it manually. So they go and check search a query and wait to get the results that everything is running smoothly. There is no bad actor introduced in my environment in last 8 hours when he was or she was not there in the office, because it was 9 to 5. If it is 24/7, then it's something we call it active hunting or proactive hunting, always going on. Third thing they will do is any new problems or ticket which they have opened and they need to resolve or carry forward or discuss further with anyone else. Could be a ticket which was open a low priority yesterday, now it has to be followed up today with other team members. So that's a follow-up requirement on that. Next could be they might have to create a dashboard or a report for the leadership team or for the CISO for a weekly or a monthly meeting. So there could be a bit of a work required in terms of dashboards and reporting as well, that everything, this is our landscape, threat landscape within my company for last 7 days, Or there could be some new training which they have to do it, because as I say, threat landscape continuously changes. So there might be something new introduced by their software vendor or a product vendor or a technology or a threat landscape which they might have to study and make sure they're up to date by knowing what's going on in the environment. So this is how the typical day passes on. Hardware, these days everything is on the cloud. There is no hardware. There's no physical office these days. People have just their laptop, they connect it and they're there. So, but yeah, having said that, hardware is what their machine and the laptops and the devices which they use for their work is required. These days, hardware is kind of going or disappearing. Everything is on the cloud. Everything is software defined these days, right? In terms of software, again, depending upon company to company, culture to culture, organization to organization, technology to technology, they use it. But having a good knowledge of a scripting language. So I would, rather than talking about the technology, because if you ask me, I will say, yeah, they should know Microsoft Sentinel, because I work for Microsoft and they are supposed to use Microsoft product, right? But there are famous tools such as Microsoft Azure Sentinel, Splunk, RSA Vision, IBM QRadar. There are a number of technology. Now, which technology that company is using, it differs. What I would suggest is having a knowledge of a process, having a knowledge of a standard framework which we talked about earlier, right? Having an analytics mindset, how to analyze it, having a knowledge of a scripting tool such as Custos query language or a Python or a PowerShell. These are the things they will require from the foundation layer to work, and depends which company they go through, they will adapt the technology which they are using it. So if they come to my company, they can spend 1 week and they would learn Azure Sentinel easily if they have the basic knowledge. If they go to certain bank, if they're using Splunk, they can go and use Splunk easily within a week if there's an entry level job. So this is how the technology, hardware, software differs, but having a foundation layer knowledge is what is must needed when you are being hired as a cybersecurity analyst.